Welcome back to Shennington. Easykart Cadets are up next, and the poleman is Oliver Gray. We spoke to him a little bit earlier on after the 3-lap practice.
Oliver, just coming from your 3-lap practice, you're looking good this weekend so far. John Viger was just saying you could be the favourite to win the championship this year. How are you feeling so far?
I'm feeling confident about the next rounds because I've been here quite a lot. Haven't been to Teesside before. That's going to be quite a challenge, but all the other rounds I've been to the track, so I'm going to be quite strong there.
And what about this weekend so far then? What you're looking for this weekend?
Well, I'm hoping to win, but yesterday I was fastest in all the sessions, so hopefully do the same today.
10 years old, and already he interviews better than Kimi Räikkönen, and he's on pole position alongside Louis Ross on the front row of the grid. Dillon Reed and Milo Pilfold, the rookie, are on row 2. Keep an eye on Ella Stevens in P5 alongside Freddie Bates, the 8 plate. She was fastest in her first ever Easykart Cadets session in the warm-up yesterday, and she's one of the best Bambino racers I've ever seen, bar none. Brilliant, brilliant performance from her. Holly Woolley, unfortunately, the other talented female in the field, doesn't take up the start this time, but we're away, and it looks as though Oliver Gray has got off to a cracking getaway and already is having a challenge for the lead. That is the 55 right on the tail, trying to make a go of it, Louis Ross. So let's see if he's going to keep up the challenge on the way down to Stratford Hairpin. The 12-year-old from Romford has a look round the outside. He does momentarily get in front, but back to the inside. Oliver Gray using that experience to get through. Freddie Bates in the 8 plate, currently 3rd now, and hoping to make a move of his own. But this is good start from Oliver Gray. This is good work. He's actually carrying the 63 plate for the 2nd year in a row. He should actually have the 5 plate or even the E plate to be the Easykart Open champion, but he's carrying 63, trying to build a brand by the look of it. But he's coping with a lot of pressure from the likes of Louis Ross and Milo Pilfold, the leading rookie, who's there in 4th position, knocking on the door of Freddie Bates, who's climbed up to 3rd position. Here's Ella Stevens. Remember where you heard that name, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of talent in that girl, and a lot of a future too, I hope. So through they come, once again out of Cafe Corner, onto Pit Bend. And there's an opportunity here for Oliver Gray to stretch his legs out in front, but Louis Ross is not going to let him get away easy. Up the inside, that's a very strong move from Milo Pilfold. He tries to get the move done, not quite managed it. The man on the move at the moment is Christian Lilley, kart number 50, 6 places made up from the start, and he's already well into the top 10, looking for more. So let's see how they do on the way down to Hanger Corner once again. Gray still out in front, Ross in 2nd place, Bates is 3rd, dropping back a little bit from these two. Don't tell me it's going to be another pair out in front. Well, it might not be, because here comes Milo Pilfold. Very good overtaking move there into the final hairpin. Good move there from the Wilkins turn. Now, what's going to happen again for Pilfold as he defends the line on the inside? He's going to have to be careful, because Freddie Bates is a very experienced young driver. He's already got a season of Easykart Cadets underneath him. The 8 plate was a strong contender last year. Now has an opportunity as one of the favourites for this year's. Dylan Brierley's making his way through as well. Started P9, now up to P5, and he's just managed to make a move on Ella Stevens. There she is in the 87. 7th place, that is Dillon Reed on the 56. And then we'll have to see how this shapes up, because from 3rd position down to about 12th, we've got an absolutely cracking battle going on. And in the midst of all that is the 10, that's Kylan Ingram. We haven't said too much about him so far in this weekend, because it hasn't quite gone to plan for him. He's one of the top-seeded drivers in this 2016 championship, and it hasn't quite gone to plan for him in the first round, but there's plenty of opportunity and plenty of time to make up that ground. 3 wide into the first turn. That's brave from the Cadets. 7th through 9th, all deciding that the same bit of tarmac is the bit they want. And all 3 of them have managed to come out of it. Absolutely incredible. It's hard to believe that these guys start from 7 years of age. Most karting championships start from 8, but in Easykart Cadets, oh, a bit of a slide there as the 2 drivers in that battle, Freddie Bates and Dylan Brierley, come together, and now we're 4 wide on the run to Bruno Ferrari chicane. How on earth is this one going to shape up? Well, Charlie Humphreys managed to make up 3 places in the hairpin, dodging all of that. Very smart thinking there from young Humphreys, and he has now got himself into a prime position. It looks as though it's settled down again, well, for the moment at least, although Ella Stevens is starting to shape up a move on the 48 of Dylan Brierley once again. I was just going to say, you can actually race in Easykart Cadet level in the year of your 8th birthday. So if you've got any 7-year-olds sitting on the sofa next to you watching this and they want to be on the grid, get in touch with Andy Cox pronto. You might be up the next round of the championship for all you know. So here are the 2 leaders once again. Oliver Gray, 63 plates. Maybe he's building a brand in the same way that Lewis Hamilton does in Formula 1. His karting number 44 is, of course, what he carries in Formula 1. Maybe Oliver Gray's doing the same thing because he could carry the 5 plate and he could carry the E, but he's chosen to carry 63. There's George Whitehouse, the 74, right in the midst of the midfield battle, and he's pulled up a couple of choice moves. Just saw one, actually, in the Bruno Ferrari chicane. It's difficult to make that overtaking move mid-corner, but he's done so on Dillon Reed, and Reed is trying to fight back straight away. Here's the battle for third position. Whoa, that got a little bit racy. As up the inside comes Freddie Bates, and through as well comes the 48 on the inside, Dylan Brierley, to move up into fourth position. But is that move going to stick? Because back to the inside line comes the 76 of Charlie Humphreys, who's managed to get himself right into the thick of it. Now, he's not quite been able to hold on to that position. But there are your two leaders. Third position is broken clear. That's Pilfold. And now the battle for fourth position. Up the inside again comes the 48 of Dylan Brierley. Does he to P4? Oh, it's a little bit of a shove. And I don't think Freddie Bates liked that one. Whoa! Humphreys got caught out, and he is hopping mad at that one. And I think on that particular occasion, he's got every right to be, because those two were so busy fighting amongst themselves, they didn't even see Humphreys trying to take avoiding action and get a smart one on them both. So poor Humphreys, he has to now slot back into, what is that, 9th position now? 8th place, I think. So the battle for fourth continues unabated as up the inside, making the move nicely there on George Whitehouse, comes the 56 of Dillon Reed. They're still squabbling away then, those two. And the gap back to fourth position is now massive. The top three have broken well clear. There's Pilfold, the rookie. Third position is in the offing in his first race in Easykart. Very good work from him. And now Oliver Gray, here's your race leader. He is the championship favourite coming into this year, and he's having to work very hard indeed to keep off Louis Ross. Into the chicane, right, left, hold the line, and right. You've got to be so careful. That's such a technical challenge, the Bruno Ferrari chicane at Shennington. You think you can go through it faster than you actually can. You have so much speed you can carry through the right part of the apex. Then you have to ease off all of it in the left, but you have to keep your line very tidy. You have to be so smooth. Otherwise, the guy behind you will nab the place on the exit. It's a very tough part of the course, and these guys are nailing it perfectly. Now, Dillon Reed is working very hard at the moment to move back into the third position he started in. He's down to P9 at the moment, battling away with Whitehouse a few times already in the last couple of laps, as we've seen, but he is right in the mix of this battle for fourth position. That is the 74 Whitehouse trying to defend again. Down to the hairpin. Look at how close these guys are getting, right in the middle of the pack. That's the 50 of Christian Lilley trying to make the move on the 48 of Dylan Brierley, and Oscar Blanchard has got himself in that mix as well. One of the youngest men in the field, and he is well in the battle. Good work from Blanchard. There he is, in fact, just in front of Kylan Ingram as they continue to battle to close up on Freddie Bates in fourth position. Now, Ella Stevens is right in the firing line of this. She's up in P5 at the moment as the leaders squabble. There's Milo Pilfold. Look back, here's Bates, Stevens. Stevens is going to make the move for fourth position, is she? No, she's going to lose the place, in fact. The 48 of Dylan Brierley goes through round the outside. It was almost as if Ella Stevens kind of saw an opportunity and didn't really get the opportunity to take it there. So now Stevens is back down the order, quite a few places, unfortunately. Seems to have lost a lot of momentum. I wonder if she's got a mechanical difficulty. Battling for sixth position, these two. Look at this. Brilliant stuff between Charlie Humphreys and Christian Lilley. Humphreys can't quite get through, so he has to slot back into position in front of Dillon Reed. Whitehouse will be looking for an opportunity to make up ground there as well. And where has Ella Stevens gone? I wonder if she's got a technical problem. That's a real shame. Ella Stevens was one of the stars of the weekend, fastest in her first ever practice session in an Easykart Cadet. Don't forget that name, folks. She will be back, and with a vengeance too. She's got a lot to prove, and she's going to do it over the course of the season, mark my words. So Milo Pilfold, third position, trying to get away from this gaggle. Look at the battle for the lead now, though. Louis Ross has stepped up the attack. If anybody's going to take the win off Oliver Gray, it's going to be Ross. He's on the inside, into the right-hander. He's got the position for all of about 15 centimetres. And then Oliver Gray defends beautifully. That's exactly what I meant about the Bruno Ferrari chicane. You carry a lot of speed through it, but every move in that chicane is dictated by the left-hander. You get the left-hander right, everything works for you, and that's a real shame. Ella Stevens, it's confirmed, out of the race, mechanical difficulties. I was sure she was a contender for a podium in this one, and I have a feeling that once they get the formula right, she could be winning a lot of races this year. Look at the gap back to the final step of the podium. Milo Pilfold there in third position, and then the gaggle for fourth. Still very, very close indeed. Now, what can Louis Ross do? Down the Stratford straight, down to the braking zone, through the hairpin. He backs off a little bit to give Oliver Gray some space. He wants to come at him from a little further back. Now we look back to third position. There's Pilfold. I'm mightily impressed by Milo Pilfold. As a rookie, he has come straight in. And look at the guys who are just behind him there. Freddie Bates leading this train of very, very talented racing drivers, and Pilfold is just disappearing. Great work from the rookie. That's a name we should keep an eye on, Milo Pilfold. In third place, trying to close up on the two established guards in front. There's Oliver Gray, still trying to get away from Louis Ross. Counting down the laps, and Ross is just biding his time in second position, although Oliver Gray's lap times are very strong at the moment. He's continuing this. It's not quite a dominant pace. It is karting after all, and it is cadet level, but it's definitely very convincing in terms of early lap pace. Oliver Gray on around the 51.2 for his best lap, although Louis Ross is slightly quicker over the course of the race so far. So let's have a look down the straight once again into the hairpin. Is this a big move? It is indeed. Humphreys finally gets the move done on Christian Lilley. He's been sizing him up all race long, and it looks as though Whitehouse could get the move done as well. But protecting very nicely to the inside, Christian Lilley. That was smart thinking. He didn't panic. He reined in the speed, but Whitehouse is still there. Whitehouse is still there to his right through Hanger Corner, and he's there. Dillon Reed could follow as well. Beautiful. The pair of them have completely sized him up. That was beautiful work there from Whitehouse. He dug deep, he fought for it, and he's got the place. 3 to go. And is this going to be Reed losing the place again to Lilley on the inside of the first corner, down through Cafe? We'll see how they've gone. No, we won't, because we'll jump back to the leaders. This is game time for Louis Ross. You need to make this happen now, my friend. You have the fastest lap of the race at 51.144, but now you need to make it count. Whitehouse again has an attack on the 56 of Dillon Reed. Just looking a little bit further up the road, did I just see Milo Pilfold slowing? I think the third place man, Milo Pilfold, the rookie who's been so impressive in this race, I think he's got a technical difficulty. Oh, Dylan Brierley's gone. What's happened to Brierley? There he is. That's the exit of the Bruno Ferrari chicane. That's just a few seconds behind the leaders, and Brierley is out. What is going on here? We've got Brierley in trouble out of the race. I think I saw Milo Pilfold slowing. I think he's got a technical problem. So, yeah, look, third position. This is now the battle for third. Wow, all of a sudden, the race has changed on a dial. Louis Ross still fighting for the victory, trying to get this man, Oliver Gray. And Louis Ross is the fastest man of the race so far, by over a tenth to the man in front, Oliver Gray. Yes, look, this is the third position battle. And now Humphreys is making a bid for Bates. Oh, poor Milo Pilfold. He's had all that hard work come to naught. But this is a youngster who's got plenty of ability. It's his first race out in the championship. He's got to take the positives from this. These two guys are way out in front. And who was behind him for the whole race? Milo Pilfold. He's got to use that confidence to move forward. It wasn't his fault he's dropped back, but he has delivered in this first round of the championship. And he can say that all the way through to the next round of the championship. Now this is the battle for third, and it's Humphreys. Humphreys is out in front of the battle. Well, that just shows you how quickly things can change in karting, particularly in Easykarts when it is so closely competitive. And Louis Ross is now shaping up a bit on Oliver Gray to the inside line. No, I think he's left it too late. He's going to defend very well here in the Bruno Ferrari chicane is Oliver Gray, and up to fifth position comes Christian Lilley, trying to make a move now on Freddie Bates. That third position battle, I wish we could stay with it, but we are going to have to see if Oliver Gray can hang on in front of Louis Ross. I can't see him losing it. Into Wilkins for the final time. Out of the final turn, and Oliver Gray begins 2016 as he meant to, with a victory in front of Louis Ross. Great drive from both of them, but Gray is victorious. Now we need to look back. Who is third? Charlie Humphreys and Freddie Bates were battling for third position. Who's going to get it? Oh my word, they're all together, and Humphreys is just going to hang on for it. My word, that was close. 4 men all with a crack at the podium there for the top 6. It's Humphreys just in front of Bates, Reed and Lilley, and they were all covered by just over a tenth of a second. My word, you could have thrown a tarpaulin over all 4 of them as they came across the line. 7th place, George Whitehouse. Unlucky for him, he was just as much a factor in that one. Oscar Blanchard comes through for 8th place. Thomas Harvey 9th. Poor Milo Pilfold has to take 10th position from this race. He worked so hard, but Oliver Gray starts the championship in victorious fashion.
Now, Oliver, you've won the rookie championship last year in your first ever season with us in Easykart. You finished 5th in the championship. You was outstanding at Buckmore Park, and look what you've done here today. Tell me about your racing today.
Well, it was really good on Saturday. Had a really good day, quickest all day, but overnight, engine just went. Yeah.
Really? What happened to the engine?
We don't know. In the final, I just coming round the cafe, it went. I had nothing coming out. So I had to defend from Louis Ross coming out of the corner, and he almost got me coming into the hairpin.
Yeah, that was a really good race actually, with Louis catching you and you having to sort of defend it. And you know, he certainly had the pace because he was banging in some fastest laps as well. So it looks like this could be boding well for this season with you and Louis being the two front runners. What do you think?
Yeah, Louis is going to be quick most of the tracks, I think, because he likes quick flowing circuits. So Teesside is going to be quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And you haven't been to Teesside before, have you?
No.
Okay, it's a new one for you as well. It's going to be a new one for a lot of drivers because it's been some years since we've been there, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But listen, well done today, Oliver. You've done very well, and you got those points in the bag. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, the headline out of Shennington is Oliver Gray is in command, but for second position, it's anybody's guess. Dillon Reed, Louis Ross, Milo Pilfold, Freddie Bates and George Whitehouse, all separated by just 13 points. What a season in cadets we've got. Senior lights are up next.